Hello everyone, it's Jesse again, and I'm back with another game review. I didn't really expect to do another one in the foreseeable future, let alone right after the one I did on Elder Scrolls Blades, but the conversation I had with a buddy about Blades brought back some memories and some discussions and ideas I'd had from playing another game a year or two ago called Heroes and Castles. And what we're looking at right here is actually Heroes and Castles 2. And I just want to talk to you about what this game does that I wish Blades had done, and what this game could do, assuming that the series continues. Now, I think this game was last updated about a year ago. I could be wrong, but that's what I saw when I checked in the App Store. So it doesn't look like this is going to be further developed at the moment. However, I have emailed the developer at Forsaken Media, and just to kind of get an idea for what they're going, because the idea of semi-open world and uh, leading troops and cooperative or competitive multiplayer is really exciting. And I just, after the conversation I had, wanted to share this little gem with you guys. So let me get into the difference. The big difference in this, you'll notice, is I'm going to run up to the gate. I talked about the gate in the other video. Oh, it opens. You can walk out. Now, to be fair, you can't run around the endless world or anything like that, but you've got this big open field in front of your castle, and you use that. You'll fight on it to defend against attacking zombies and goblins and things like that, like hordes of them. And you'll actually lead troops out there. Um, but it's not truly an open world. You're just able to go battle out there. In instances, when you hit the skull button on the bottom, you see this is wave 5. That's wave 5 in an ongoing campaign of defense. The world develops slightly with the use of a map, and what you see on this map is the circle in the bottom center is my castle that we were just walking around in, and you see I've got 3 little outlying fortresses that I have captured in the countryside, and there's 4 more ones up there, skulls that are locations I can capture, and each of them give me a different benefit for possessing. So I've got greater chance of finding equipment. I've got extra crystals, which is the game's currency, and I've got a new unit because of possessing this castle or this outpost or town, a church, as a matter of fact. That's what it is. It's or a monastery. So those things give in-game benefit. Now the game can be played with 2-player co-op or a 2-player versus. So it's pretty simple on the multiplayer, but it is there and it's a lot of fun. I remember playing with a friend of mine, playing a lot of co-op defense and playing a little bit of versus, but more co-op defense was a blast. It's very challenging. There's lots of there's layers of like a paper, rock, scissors dynamic with different types of soldiers and different types of equipment or different types of attacks and stuff like that. So real quick, my thought is if this title were to expand, or if Elder Scrolls had developed something along these lines and implemented this sort of map on a larger scale for 3 factions to face off against each other in a maybe 3 versus 3 match where 3 players are fighting against 3 other players from each faction, I think you could create a scenario where players are building their alliances or their clans, whatever you want to call them, and really, really building some awesome community stuff. And my experience with these types of games is that community, especially mobile games, because it's so accessible to communication through Facebook or I'm drawing a blank, Discord, other communication apps. They're just so convenient, let alone internal, in-game communications. So I think the potential is there for something really cool. The game already has, in addition to your normal hero, you get a backup hero, but you have different races. You have the dwarves and the elves, different stats, and I just think to myself, man, there's 3 factions right there with some different art models, different assets, and different starting stats. The the heroes also have skill trees. You have a knight, paladin, mage skill tree, and they're basically just you can use them all at the same time. They're basically just specialization in combat, specialization in leading troops, and specialization in support and magic. And you can develop them kind of like the newer Elder Scrolls games, where you can do them all simultaneously, but you get benefits for focusing on one. So I like that dynamic. What am I gonna do here? I want to do one of these. I don't care about that. Let's see. Heals nearby enemies. That's good. I want to. Maybe I should do a knight. Should I do a knight one? Let's see. +2 damage. That sounds like probably a smart idea. The first hit on any enemy damage. Let's just do damage. Damage is good. We're gonna do that. We're gonna diversify. We got some damage there. Anyway, probably should have put it into paladin and got closer to that 5th skill level to unlock another tier. Oh, equipment. I want to show you real quick. Yep, we've got equipment, so I can craft random items and of a weapon, shield, or armor type, as well as a rune, which I think can be used to enhance those items. I can craft those. I can also forge something using stats from things I've already randomly crafted. So as I collect more things, I can kind of build a specific gear. And then I've got items I can sell. So I'm not going to bother selling anything right now. I am going to make a piece of armor because I don't actually have any other than the starter one yet. So let's see what we get there. And I got the nameless human armor. It's given me a good little benefit apparently. So we'll roll with it. Sounds good. Another couple things I want to mention real quick. The little shops and people here already just in this little room, this little courtyard you have them in, already more useful and meaningful to me in game than the ones in Blades were. Even though you could build little buildings, it didn't amount to anything, and these are more practical. I have a master sergeant there, so I can upgrade soldiers that I have access to. I think I might actually do this. Let's do footmen are cheap and they're always ready to use. So I'm gonna upgrade them because they're gonna be getting used a lot. So there, I've used all my currency up. Another one I have here is the city engineer, and that allows me to upgrade my walls, upgrade my towers, or crystal rather, that helps me heal while I'm fighting, and I can implement towers, which I will have to save up a little currency for. And currency doesn't seem hard to earn, really at all. So I think what I'm gonna do is, let me see. There was a map. There was other things going on out here. Everything is under attack, so that's not good. Let me see what the conditions were. Does it say what the conditions? Storms. Everything's stormy everywhere. Conditions are clear. I'm gonna fight this one. It's nice. Maybe I can make sure I don't lose access to the priest, but I'm gonna fight it because it's clear. And I think that might make for a better quality video. Okay, so I just traveled out to my little outpost of this church. I don't see where maybe the church is. Okay, there it is. There's the church out there. Monastery rather, right? So I've got some soldiers here, and we know there's an incoming attack. Now I can also attack those other skulls, like I think I mentioned, and to gain more of these, but I'm just going to defend this one's clear, so it should be a little easier video for seeing. But before I do that, my main point in all this was the concept of the multiplayer community building. I just think that would make a great game. Allow for marketplaces, allow for crafting and gifting to each other, allow for even governments to be elected or set up somehow, and ruling players to make policy selections, this or that kind of selections that give benefits to the entire faction, or be able to have a board of counselors that selects which targets the faction will go after. Anyways, that's my main point you could get that and stop watching right now, but I am going to play this battle. I'm going to defend just to give it an example of the gameplay, of the actual gameplay, now that I've talked for 6 minutes or so. So I've initiated the battle. I got to get Bannerman. He's coming out there. Those are the guys that will generate command points. Here he comes through the gate. He's got to stand there. He's not going to fight, and if he dies, he stops generating command points. So I got to keep him alive. And I'm going to get some of this footmen I just upgraded out. Now the game does pause when you go into menus in single player. It does not pause when you're in multiplayer, so you can kind of learn as you need to in the single player before you go into the multiplayer stuff. Okay, so I'm going to be getting another Bannerman out, because then my command points will come up faster. And you see these guys, they have the number, well they did, they're healed up now, but they have that number going up. That's from me standing in close proximity to them with the paladin skills I've selected. Heals nearby troops constantly, so I find it's a beneficial kind of combat leader skill, because you want to get into the action where the fighting's hottest and keep your troops in the fight, keep them alive, keep them going. So these guys are doing that. I need to get some more units on the field. I'm going to pick pikemen. They're slow, but they're pretty good. Looks like we're doing okay, so I'll try to leverage some more powerful troops out here for when things get heated up. All right, these guys, he's healing. Okay, here come the pikemen. Let me see what we got here. Help them get going. I'm going to get out here and protect these bannermen, don't we? We need to do that. Kind of reminds me of Warband. If you've ever played any of the Mount and Blade games or their variations, they are fantastic. They have a lot more options on the tactical options on the combat field, and another thing that could be added to this would be to be able to kind of like order your units and have like quick little hot buttons maybe up on the top. You could say select archers or select pikemen or select footmen or whatever it is, or select all, and then have like little actions like come to me or defend or charge, whatever, different little simple commands to kind of direct, or stand here or things like that. So you can actually implement some basic formations, and that would be a whole nother level. But again, obviously if I had the resources to put that into production myself, I would do it. But until that point, I hope to see Forsaken Media maybe revisit this, update the engine maybe. Can we do it in Unreal Engine 4? I don't know. New art assets, and implement a little more in-depth tactics and expand the community possibilities, man. And I'm sold on it. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Tell me what you think. If you got games that this makes you think of that are along those lines, I'd be interested in learning about them.